Heyo everybody, Haku here, and real quick before I get started, if you can't tell, I'm a little sunburnt and I'm pretty tired as well. I don't know. So if things look a little bit reddish, I am sunburnt. It's not like the shitty lighting or anything. So I am recording the Kiznaiver review, Kiznaiver episode 7 review, and also the One Piece anime review. I'm recording them like now, but because I had already written them when I saw the episode a day or two ago, so I don't think I have enough time to really read over the Tower of God chapter a few more times, or take my notes, write the review. I didn't have time to do that before I lost decent lighting for the day, because I do like to let a little bit of sunlight in, because without it I feel like the lighting in my videos looks a bit crappier. So trying to get through this quick, but that was the long story of why Tower of God review for this week is being pushed back until tomorrow when I have time to work on it. And today I'm just doing the Kiznaiver review and One Piece anime review, hopefully, because I did already have them written. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, I guess. I really thought that this brought the show back. I was a bit iffy. I was like, ooh, last episode, the show's taken a turn. I might not quite... Or no, episode before last episode, the show was taking kind of a turn that I didn't like. Last episode totally brought it back. This episode smashed the anime game. This was freaking great. I loved this. I don't think it's been since I watched Yurikuma Arashi for my review of that I have felt this much while watching something. I didn't feel as much this episode as I did during the finale for Yurikuma Arashi, the last two episodes of that. But this was still up there. This was still so good. You could feel it. The animation was brilliant. The music, even better than the animation. The music was so freaking good. And the writing, I thought that this was going somewhere that I didn't know if I was going to like, but this just cements it as a really freaking good anime for me. No matter what they do from here on out, even if at the end of this I'm like, okay, it's not really a great anime, with just what we have so far, I can say this was a really freaking good anime. So we start with our opening as usual, and of course it's really grown on me. I really love it now. And then we have poor Nico. She's so cute. Nico crying at the fast food restaurant with everyone, and they're talking about what they found out visiting or investigating about Voodoo. And turns out that Voodoo, man, hard to do the accent on that. Voodoo had kidney disease, and she was always going to die. At some point, she was going to die. And that sort of lets us know the reason, Maki put her at arm's reach so that she wouldn't fall in love with her. She wouldn't get that attached. She wouldn't get even more attached than she already was. She tried to push her away because of that. And of course, when she died after Maki abandoned her, her parents were pissed at that, at her one friend abandoning her, but also still grieving because, their daughter died. That's pretty terrible stuff. So, it was emotional and feelsy, and it just built from there. When we cut back to the present time in the fast food restaurant, we learned that Yuta has read the manga, and he said it was boring. So that was pretty funny. I really like Yuta. He's a very good character. I'm really freaking loving Hisomu a lot more now. But before we get into future things that group does, we get our flashbacks about Maki and Voodoo. Damn. We get our flashbacks about them, and that is the feels, man. That is the feels. Oh man, it's another thing that punches you in the chest. Not as much, as I said, as Yurikuma Arashi did there at the end, but this anime still has a lot to go, and it's not always all about the feels. This had more than just feels. This it looked beautiful, it sounded beautiful, it had a good story going with it, a good arc to it, showing the characters' relationships, and that's really what this anime's been built upon so far, is just the enjoyment from it comes from character relationships and how each of them interact with one another, and I freaking love it. It's really well woven together, and there's only been one episode that hasn't really capitalized on it in a really cool way. So all of the flashbacks I thought were good there. I thought the animation and music were just amazing, brilliant. There was some Yuri stuff in there, and it turns out that Ruru and Maki did love each other. That Maki just pushed her away, but she really did love her deep inside. So that I like. I like that they turned it into sort of a couple but not a couple kind of thing, where they loved each other but they had to put each other at arm's reach because they knew that Ruru was going to die at some point. So I don't know, it really was one of those things where they point out it's like the cliche sad thing, but it worked. It worked because they pointed out like that. And lampshading something doesn't always make it better, but this wasn't lampshading a problem. This was legitimately saying, this is our terrible situation. But you know, it is kind of similar to this cliche that happens sometimes. And I love that sort of attitude that the show took with that. So our group plans on becoming friends with Maki. That's their plan. To talk with her, to become friends with her. And I freaking love Tenga and Hisomu during the conversation there. It was hilarious. I love those two. And they all bond a lot more at the apartment. And one of the biggest things that just hit me in the heart again is seeing that everybody bonding together and being together, Katsuhira is finally, like, feeling happy. And also it's brought up later that he's like, you know, Katsuhira isn't actually my given name. And a bunch of people I saw in the comments were like, I don't remember it. It was Katsuhira Agata, I think, was his full name. I also heard people saying that Agata is usually a female name. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why they forget it or they're calling him Katsuhira. But it was funny either way. Gachon. Another interesting thing is when we see, what is her name? Sonozaki Nori something? I just know that they call her Nori-chan. But Sonozaki, she's like talking, she's at the committee place and she's talking to the guy about canceling the documentary because that plan is over, obviously, or whatever. But, like, they flash to a picture that she has of her with 6 other kids, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe she was part of the first batch of Kiznaiver and maybe it was a failure or something, or maybe it was a success and that's why they're trying to recreate it, or no, it's more than likely a failure and that's why Sonozaki is so, like, distant and stuff. So that could be a very cool future story possibility. Then we have our Yuta and Maki moments. Oh my gosh, reading the last chapter. My feels. The animation and music were so good. It was artsy as hell. It was freaking art. It was like, again, comparing it to other stuff, not since Madoka Magica have I seen animation like that visually appealing, I guess. Like, and for me, when it comes to animation quality, I would say stuff like maybe One Punch Man or Madoka Magica are probably like the top tier animated things for me when it comes to how detailed the animation itself is. Attack on Titan also, it did have very detailed animation as well, so I'll give Attack on Titan something for the very, very detailed animation. And this, the animation was just so appealing. It had nice realism, but also nice art to it too, where, say, Attack on Titan leans more toward the realism in its art, and Madoka Magica has very artsy animation, but again, it looks very detailed. So it's one of those things where it doesn't look realistic, but it looks detailed. This, I think, bridged that really nicely, leaning more towards the realistic, but the artsy parts were nice. So then we had the swimming scene and her reading the last chapter, and my heart freaking died. This was good. I didn't cry or anything, sadly. It didn't quite hit me that hard. It's kind of weird to say sadly, but I like a story that can make you feel emotion like that. I like a story that can make you feel angry, that can make you feel happy, that can make you cry about something. If it makes you feel that emotion, then the story has really done a good job, and I definitely felt it. I didn't feel it like that much, but it was so well presented. The ending was amazing. The swimming scene just all together was amazing. Then we get our ending theme, which is still straight fire. I really like the ending theme, and just like the opening, it has grown on me, and I like it even more as the show's gone on. Also, I'm going to throw in here at the end that I think somebody would call me out if I left it out, but Yuta's running to the water was very, very funny. I love every time they show Yuta run. Yuta is one of those characters I really love, and I really love just about every single character we've got here. It's really great. The preview for the next episode, the promo or whatever, is talking about Tenga finding love, so it could be cheesy, and that as a description, my hopes are way, way lower for that episode than this one. But hopefully they do pull out a great story from whatever they're planning to do. Again, I'm just not much into the shipping and anime romance stuff, because romance in anime, 9 times, or more than that, like 99 times out of 100, the romance in anime is very cheesy and cliche and just bad. It's not done very well usually. But I'm not going to judge it before I actually see what the show does with the story, so we'll just see what happens. But for this one, the animation and the sound and the writing itself was all just brilliant. It was the best I could possibly say that it could have been done. So I think I'm gonna give it 10. The buns was last episode. 10 fireworks for friendship out of 10, or 10 manga love letters out of 10. Either way, perfect score. This was all I could ask for out of an episode of anime. It was good. Not for a single moment did I want this episode to stop. This was the best in the show so far, I think. That might be a big thing to say, because I really did love the first 2 episodes, but this was awesome. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for sticking through it. This is kind of long for one of my Kiznaiver reviews. Like if you did like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of the episode and what you thought of my review. I guess subscribe for more Kiznaiver, One Piece, The Walking Dead, Tower of God, and a lot more stuff, like Pokemon, Monmusu, a lot more stuff. Subscribe for that if you want. As well as follow on Twitter. I always get caught up on that. Follow on Twitter if you want for updates on when I'm posting stuff or pushing stuff back. I'll try to let you guys know first if anything happens there that will affect my normal uploading schedule. Or if I'm planning anything important or something. I don't know. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all next time.